So I'm gonna do a recap of my trades this week. That would be January 9th to 13th. Okay, so it was a losing week. Minus $20. That's around 10% of my initial capital this year, which is just $200. Okay, so all right, so let's get to it. Monday was January 9. So let's see what was done here. All right, so my idea here was that I drew a line here. That's the resistance, and there's this support right here. So I was just waiting for something that would break this resistance, and it was this candle. So I bought at around 1434. So that's am I looking at the right one? Yeah, it's this one. So I bought on this candle, and let's see what time I closed it. So yeah, I closed it right after a minute after the this candle closed. So I was trading this on the 15 minute, right? And then a few sec yeah, a few 1 minute after the close, um, it doesn't look okay. I mean the price is not really going to the direction where I wanted it to be. It started going down before the candle closed, and then so the on the next candle I closed it. Um, point 20, it's it's a break even. I consider that one a break even. So I gave my trade a second chance here. So there was this is a strong bullish candle closing above the resistance, right? So it was really a good candle to trade. And this time around, I place another buy. Let's zoom in a little bit on that. And then I closed just a second after, right? I wasn't so confident because of what happened on this one. There was a break, it went back down, so I wasn't really that confident here. Why? First, yeah, because of that one, and second, the candle before that has no wick, right? So it's a 50-50 chance here, meaning there's no range for the next candle to move up to, right? So 50-50. So yeah, I closed immediately once I made a little profit, $3, um, in a 2.5 lot. This is micro lot, right? Yeah, this is micro lot. How can I forget? It's a micro account. So yeah, that was the two trades Monday. So it was a winning day, profitable day. And then let's go on to the next day. That's the 10th. The 10th. So most of the time I trade on the 15 and 30-minute candles. So yeah, it's the same setup. I always use the same setup. So I'm still on the state on the on this stage in my journey where I wanted to have like a very consistent way of trading, right? I want to stick with a single strategy, price action, um, support and resistance. So yeah, it's a similar setup, right? The candles are bullish. Candles are bullish. Um, okay, I think it would be better so that I can see it clearer. I'm gonna open another tab. Um, Trading view. So I'm gonna set this one. So let's see. So that was the 10th, right? So this is ninth. This is the 10th. Okay. Actually, what I really wanted to do was to show what the overall trend is. I wanted to go time frame by time frame all the way to the 30 and 50-minute time frame, but It doesn't seem to work that way with metadata because I have to backtrack through time. I think I can do that one in TradingView, but I'm not gonna do that now. So anyway, let's go back here. So the idea is the same. I was waiting for a candle to break the resistance. So here, I don't have to wait for anything that will close here. Although, yes, technically it will still be better if there's a candle closing above here. Um, Closing above this support resistance, and then I would trade on the next candle that would break the high of this. So I decided not to wait for that one because this was just really a strong move right here. Um, then this is the first trade I took. Um, that's the NYSE open. So it was so prior to that one, pre NYSE was there was a really strong uptrend. Um, so that's why I just didn't. Although there was like this is also relatively strong resistance, as you can see. There was previous attempts to break through that one, but wasn't successful. Um, so yeah, uh, it will still be better, and by better I mean there's a high probability of this one going up if there's a kind of closing bullish above this line, above this resistance. But yeah, I took my chances here and won $5.85. And so in hindsight, now let's see how can I could have made this one better, right? So let's see what time was this. This is a New York session already, so volume starts show up around this time, and um, so in hindsight, I could have also done something like this: draw support and resistance, yeah, and this one's the support, and trade from here, right? So this is the setup that I was talking about. That it will be way better if there's a candle closing above the resistance if you are bullish, right? If you're targeting a bullish trade. So yeah, in hindsight, I could have caught something like this one. So I might have been doing something or watching something else during that time, but it was a good setup. Once this closed, this is a good opportunity for you to, for me to um, buy up until where the next resistance will be, which is around this area, right? And then the stop loss would be here. So let's see. The stop loss is around 900 or 1,000 points. Possible win. Uh, RR wise, that's not a good setup, right? But if you see something like this one, it's a really uh, high probability setup. So in that case, I wouldn't like. I would still take the trade even if I know that the RR is not that good. Um, and so let's assume that I took the trade and I placed a buy around this price, and as I've mentioned, I will be putting my stop loss around this area, right? 1,000 points. Um, but once the price go below the low of the previous candle, this price right here, I would start closing, or actually once it breaks the once it goes back within the previous range, no trade range that I have, if it went back down right here, I would start closing slowly the position, right? I would start managing my risk right there. That's the easier way to say it. So yeah, let's see the other trade that day, 1655. That's this one, right? So I'm still very bullish on this day. So I tried to re-enter. So I saw the candle going back all the way down, breaking the low of the previous candle, right? But the price action after a one, let's see if I'm actually correct. 1655. And this candle is 1645. Okay, yeah, I think I was right. So the candle went all the way down below the previous support right here. So I did not put any trade right there because once the candle closes below the support, then there's a high probability that I will go probably around this area, right? So because I'm bullish, I was waiting for it to go back up, and before the candle ends, like 5 minutes before the candle ends, 1655, it went back up, right? So I did place a trade here, um, but what happened is that because right after I placed the trade, like a few seconds later, I can see pretty much see that it's not going to just continue going up. So I closed right then and there. But up until that point, I am still pretty bullish on the trade, right? But yeah, that was a good one. Barely escaped the loss. Um, I could have taken this much loss right there. Because if I hadn't closed this one, I would have waited for this candle to close, right? And it closed right here, so I would have ended um, on break even that day. But yeah, so uh, 11th. Let's see here. 11th was just was a good one. Okay, so again, it's the same setup. So I was drawing a line right here. That's the resistance I need to break, and this is where my um our support will be. But I don't think these candles are already there when I was drawing this one. So I probably, yeah, I think the line was probably around here when I first drawing. So yeah, the idea is still the same. I was waiting for a candle to close outside the range, the no trade range. Okay, so it could be a sell, it could be a buy. Um, at this time, it was a buy. So there was a poke, there was a break right here, but it closed back to this area, and so I was waiting for the next candle to close above, and it did. So I placed a buy, um, and I think this one. So I think it will be a better idea that next time I will just leave the marks here so that when I do the recap, I would remember exactly what I was trying to do. But this time around, I think this was, yeah, obviously this wasn't a TP, right? I don't think it's close enough to where my TP was during this time. I think I just closed because the candle or the price action maybe is not doing well. Let's see here. So 1545, right after the candle opened, 18 seconds after the candle opened, I placed a trade there and then I closed. Oh, I think I was waiting for, yeah, I think I was trying to wait for this whole candle to close, but during, I think around this time, it wasn't really going fast enough, right? So I was expecting the volume to just push this one off the roof, but nothing there. So I didn't wait for the candle to close. I closed the deal, the position right there. And so as you can see here, there's another chance for me to re-enter, right? So there was a support formed around this area, and the trade can be here. So once the price, the next candle breaks above this previous candle, then I can have this stop loss right here, 785, and the next whole numbers 3945. Yeah, again, it's a bad RR, right? Not even 1:1, but it's a high probability setup, right? As soon as I will see that the candle formed a good wick right here and then broke and then broke the high of the previous candle, that's a high probability setup for me. And usually, what I do to know where my TP is that I go to the left hand side and see where the previous supports and resistances are. But last few days, uh-huh. Let me see here. So if I did place a trade right there, I think my stop loss would be somewhere around this area, right? Somewhere around this area because of this. Anyway, so yeah, the price was not moving the way I expected it, so I closed it. This was before NYSE open. And my first loss of the week was the big one. So this was CPI. So CPI. So all right. So this was my seventh CPI on a live account, and this is only the second time that I lost. The first time that I lost, it's not even a loss. Um, I lost because I think I was a little greedy, or I was both greedy and afraid to wait for things to move, for price to move. It was, the lack of experience during that time. But after that one, I was winning pretty much easy on all CPIs. But this CPI on January 12th, this was like the worst CPI that I've seen. So just look at this candle. This is a CPI candle. This is where the report was released, right? The candle before that one was way above here. When the report was released, boom, slippage, right? Massive slippage. So my strategy during big news releases is that I use buy stops and sell stops. There must be some way to call it, but let's just call it buy stop and sell stop. So what I do is that, so before I think around 30 seconds before the news release, that I put a buy stop and sell stop to an area that looks um, where if I look at the left hand side, there's previous supports and resistances, right? So that's what I do. And so what happened was that there's massive slippage. It was triggered. This order was triggered, and there's a massive slippage, and then the slippage went all the way here, and then the price started moving up. So it's something as unusual, something that I've seen the first time. So yeah, I tried to manage my risk by closing early, and so on that, no, yeah, on that same day, an hour later, so I waited for NYSE to open. So I waited for market structure to form during this time. So, but if you look at this, the stop losses will be very big because of how big the candles are. Um, so market, yeah, NYSE opened. Okay, so I waited 5 minutes to see what the candle will do. This candle, and so once it broke the low of this one, I started to think about placing a trade, and so I did. And then I was just waiting for it to cover or to fill up until this area, the previous scandal, right, during the news. Okay, so I won a little 513. And then the following day, I think this was, yeah, yeah, this was just yesterday. I would say I was a little, frustrated about what happened with CPI news. I was expecting to get more, a lot more, um, in CPI. So Friday, I was, trying to um, like finish the week on a good note. So I put like so much pressure on myself to get a really good a trade on this one. So what happened? So let's zoom in because this is a really important lesson for me. Is that I've made a few, you know, premature entries. So this was this was the lines that I drew. I can still remember, and I think I was on the lower time frame. I think around 5 minutes or something like that. Yeah, 5 minutes right here, right? And so, well, the idea is that, as I've always been saying so far, I must wait for a candle not only to break but to close outside this no trade range. But I didn't wait. Um, I didn't wait for the close, so I sold on this one, and then it went back up around this area. So I closed. It's not, it's not good. And then I gave myself I give that trade another chance. Same story. I didn't wait for anything to close below this area, right? So I was anticipating. I was not waiting. I did not wait for any confirmation, which is stupid. Um, I was not following my strategy. Anyway, but this was a stream. I have a live stream on this one, and I remember saying that I was waiting for it to hit 39.50. 39.50. Should be around this area. I said that if I see anything that would close above that one, I would place a buy with a stop loss of here, and my my TP would be around here, or here lower, where the previous support was, so around this area on 15-minute support, right? But I was already so emotionally done after these two losses here. Like I was like, oh no, this is not a good day for me. So I try to limit myself to just two trades a day. So I have to maintain that discipline from here on out. Um, but yeah, I've, in hindsight, I should have waited for confirmation. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. It was a losing week, but this won't stop me from continuing to trade. So far, this is my seventh month, January. Um, I haven't blown an account just yet, but I wasn't also very profitable. So last year I only made $11 off of the 200. But a win is a win, a profit is a profit. So I would say that was a winning year. So, but the start of the year was pretty bad. I already lost. Let's see, should be very big already, like almost 194. Yeah. Um, the previous massive losses was from another news, which was also weird during that time. It was NFP. So yeah, most of these losses are coming from the news releases that I was anticipating, and very little of the losses actually came from regular trading days, which is I take that one as good news for me. All right, so I think that's it.